Alright folks, this is a beloved word problem. I hope that the more that you see of these, the less terrifying they become. I know that was the case for me and still is the case for me. The more that I do these questions, the less I avoid them, the easier they become. Alright, so Leah wants to frame an oil original painted on canvas measuring 50 centimeters by 60 centimeters. Before framing, she places the painting on a rectangular mat so that a uniform strip of the mat shows on all sides of the painting. The area of the mat is twice the area of the painting. How wide is the strip exposed? The strip of the exposed mat on all sides of the painting to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. First things first, let's draw it out. So we have this painting. It's 50 centimeters by 60 centimeters. So that means that the total surface area here is 50 times 60, which is 3,000 centimeters squared. Now that's important because it says the area of the mat is twice the area of the painting. So this painting is placed on a mat that is uniform in width. So width here is the same, width here is the same, width here is the same, width here is the same. So all the way around it's all the same. It also says that it's twice the area, so that means that the area of this whole thing is going to be 6,000 centimeters squared. Because the area of the painting is 3,000. Now if I am to create a dimension here using just my widths and the information I have already, I'm going to say that the length from here to here is W plus 50 plus W. So that's just 50 plus 2W. And the length here is going to be just the same, or similar, a similar way of formulating it anyway. We have W plus 60 plus W. So 2W plus 60. Now I changed the order here. It really doesn't matter, but just to be consistent when I find the actual area, I'll do them similar. I'll make them look the same. So I'm going to say that the area, so length times width, which is 50 plus 2W times the length here, which is 60 plus 2W equals the full area, which is 6,000, which is just double the painting. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to FOIL it out or distribute, and then I'm going to set one side equal to 0 and use the quadratic formula. But first of all, before I can use quadratic formula, I need to expand it. So 50 times 60 is 3,000. 50 times 2W is going to be 100W. 60 plus 2W is 120W. 2W times 2W is 4W squared equals 6,000. Now I'm just going to put it in an order that I like. So that's going to be of descending order of powers. So 4W squared, which is our A, plus 100 plus 120, which is 220W. And then 3,000, but we need to set the side equal to 0. So 3,000 minus 6,000 is going to be negative 3,000. Because all I'm doing is subtracting 6,000 from both sides. Alright, so my A equals 4, my B equals 220, and my C equals negative 3,000. Now what I can do is I can plunk that right into my, my quadratic formula, and we're going to have to pay attention to the two different answers. Alright, so I'm just going to clear myself lots and lots of space here, really nice. So if I want to solve for W, W is going to equal negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A. but we know that A is 4, B is 220, and C is negative 3,000. So I'm going to say W equals negative 220 plus or minus, that gives us our two answers. We're going to say 220 plus this radical amount under the radical, and 220 minus. So plus B squared, 220 squared, minus 4 times A, which is 4, times C, which is negative 3,000. All over 2 times A, which is 4. Now it's just a matter of simplification. W equals negative 220 plus or minus, I'm going to bring up my calculator here. So 4 times 3,000 equals 4,800. And 220 squared is 48,400. So 48,400. And remember, two negatives plus 4,800, or sorry, 48,000. So then plus 48,000 equals. So that's something that's an important value to remember. I'm just going to go like this. 2 times 4 is 8. So W equals negative 220 plus or minus the square root of 96,400, all divided by 8. So we have two answers that can branch off here. We can say W equals negative 220 plus the square root of 96,400, or over 8, or we can say W equals negative 220 minus the square root of 96,400 over 8. I can tell you right off the hop, without even any kind of simplification, this is going to result in a negative number. We can disregard that one. We don't even have to go further with it, because dimensions cannot be negative. Just like time cannot be negative. So I'm just going to focus in on this one. So I'm going to say, I want to find the square root of that. So 310.48, I'm just going to hold all the values in my calculator. I don't have to, simplify anything or round anything yet. So this is positive, and then I'm going to subtract 220 minus 220 equals, and then I'm going to divide that, because that's this simplified, divide that by 8. And we get an answer of 11.3104 centimeters. Now let's just scroll up to see if there are any specific instructions. To the nearest tenth of a centimeter. So we know that that will round to 11.3 centimeters. So it says right here, how wide is the strip? Well, we solve for W. That means that we solve for the width of it. So we don't have to plunk that in. We're not asked for the final dimensions, because then we would have to put it in this expression and this expression to figure it out. But it's just asking us for how wide the uniform strip is. So I think we got it. It's 11.3 centimeters.